Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Patreon podcast. This week I wanted to talk about pigeonholing yourself, or kind of pushing yourself into a situation that you don't know how to get out of. And this is obviously directly related to a personal experience. This time it's the album in a month. So I've been working on the end of almost everything for the last month, and I've been having a good time with it overall, but I've started to realize that the intent for the album, what I kind of wanted to go into this album with, doesn't necessarily fit with where the album itself is going. And that could be of many different factors. For one, like I get bored with it, making a specific style of music over and over. Like The Moon Seems Unaffected is an anomaly when it comes to that. It even then, some of the middle songs kind of broke the conventions that I made to begin with. But I feel that the style that I was going for the end of almost everything just isn't doing it for me anymore. And I still have like 2 or 3 more songs that I wanted to write. And then I just could not find the motivation to do another song in that style. So I started to branch out. And then because of that, like the whole album just kind of felt a little divergent from the message that I wanted to convey in the first place, which kind of put me in a creative deadlock because I wanted to finish the album. But I wanted to finish the album in a specific way, but I wanted to make different types of music. So I was kind of forced to go in 2 different directions, and I didn't know which one to choose. And that's kind of what I mean by pigeonholing myself. I basically put myself in a position where there was no right answer, but I had to make a choice. And eventually, like, I chose to kind of just do whatever I want that kind of fit the spirit of the album, but didn't really fit the exact types of music that I was expecting to make. Which, overall is fine. Like as a concept album, I feel that it still holds up very well, and it has a lot of themes that I wanted, but it doesn't go as far as I would have liked with those themes. And part of that is just due to having the limitation of doing this over the course of a month. Whereas if I had a year to do it, I could make a song and then set it aside. And then like I would get inspiration from somewhere and I'd make a song and then I'd set it aside. And I can't do that with this album, just because it has to be, cranked out, which, is a blessing and a curse. And it's entirely possible that in the future, during the National Solo Album Month stuff, I might focus more on, the minimum time goal of 40 or 29 minutes instead of where I'm at with like almost 60. And to be fair, the songs that I'm making are much more long form. So it's way easier to make a 60-minute long album when you're making ambient music compared to something like, jazz or, something a little bit more melodic or conceptual based. So I totally understand that, but like, I just, I feel that when you do paint yourself into a corner like this, or when you do kind of pigeonhole yourself into a particular style or mood or whatever, like, I think it's very valuable to be able to take a step or 2 back and just like, first of all, realize that this is being a problem, that you have to make a choice here because you can't just power ahead, or if you can, do you have the energy to power ahead and make something that you might not be happy with in the moment? Or do you want to shift gears and change the focus of the project in general? And I think that there's usually a way to find some middle ground there. It obviously depends on the project, but I was able to kind of find ways to express the moods that I wanted through the track titles, and then leave the songs up to interpretation through those track titles. Like initially I was thinking of this album being very dark and like ominous and oppressive. And while there are some songs that have those qualities, for the most part, they kind of ended up more as, man, I don't even know how to describe it. Kind of more experimental, soundscapey kind of things, which still like really, really vibe with me, but it's not the intent that I wanted for the album. So it was a bit of a compromise there, but I think overall that it still works very well. So yeah, I think that's really kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Just like the idea that you have to, kind of make those kind of compromises once in a while. And it sucks. Like, it's not a fun thing to do, but I also really wanted to make sure that when I did approach this album, that I had like an idea in mind that was flexible enough for me to be able to, go in different directions if need be. And, that's what had to happen. So I think that's it. I hope that you got some. I literally just woke up. I haven't been doing my Patreon podcast pre-records lately, so I've been doing them at like 8 a.m. when they go out at 9. So I'm still a little tired. But I hope that you've enjoyed this episode and you've got a little bit of insight from it, both for how I approach albums and how you cannot get yourself painted into a corner like me every time I do this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you in the next one. Be remarkable.